Thank you for being here. You know, we have a client. They did amazing. We're going to keep her anonymous. You guys probably see her account, Jorge. I know I mentioned that to you the other day. But yes, we started working with her about 90 days ago, and she was stuck at 23,000 followers. She had no email list. And it was just a really magnificent story to be able to see her go from that journey of basically having a 200% return on her investment. So we've gotten her to 100,000 followers. And not only that, it's had a huge return on her business as well in just 3 months. And so with that being said, moving forward onto this call, just think about the ways that you can take action and just apply everything that we're going to be talking about here, because there's going to be a lot of actionable steps. A lot of people are not too familiar with what exactly marketing is, or what they have an idea of it and they have a direction, but you know, it can be a bit confusing. There's a lot that goes into it. So we're going to dive a bit deeper on, how to stop flushing your money down the toilet with different marketing schemes and tactics, and just start generating leads while you sleep on autopilot. Building an audience on social media, as you guys know, it is a license to print money and to attract money, because you are attracting people to your actual presence, which is already magnetic as it is. So again, if you guys can, turn on your cameras, mute your microphone, and be interactive. Ask questions if you have any. So a little bit about me and how I got started in real estate and why I'm here in the marketing space now. So in 2019, I was quote unquote lucky enough to have dropped out right on time, right before COVID, and I decided to go full on in real estate investing. So I met my partner and we went all in on wholesaling virtually. We built funnels, we ran ads across Facebook, we did a little bit on Google, and it was a lot of hard work. At that time, there wasn't as many wholesalers, there was still competition, but we were able to close one of the biggest deals that we did at $80,000 that came from a Facebook ad. And that was also one of the easiest deals that we ever did. And with that being said, I've seen a lot of companies in wholesaling and in real estate, and especially on the investment side, who have succeeded and have also failed due to the lack of exposure. So let's talk about a little bit about what exposure means and what it can do for your business. The more exposure and the more eyes on you, the more people who know who you are, the more leads you're going to attract, the more deals you're going to close, and the more money you're going to make, which is ultimately the goal, because the more money you have, the more time and financial freedom you'll be able to build for yourself and create a life which you can call the good life, right? Let's dive into this. So what is marketing? Marketing is not hacks, tips, tricks, manipulation. That's debatable. It's a little bit of manipulation, but it's good. But it's essentially taking people's desires and helping them to fulfill on those desires. Good marketing is not hacks, tips, and tricks, and these things that you do once and maybe gamble with it. Good marketing is you're understanding the pain points and the frustrations and the fears of your ideal audience. And a lot of times you were probably in the same place as them, and you had those same frustrations and fears, and you're all working towards the same dreams and those goals. And so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be diving deeper on how to understand those fears, those frustrations, and how to turn that into content. And that way it can start attracting your ideal audience while you sleep. It'll start reaching people from across the globe, across the nation, and you'll be able to have an endless pipeline of leads to fulfill whatever your goal is for your business or your personal brand in general. So with this client, again, we're going to keep her anonymous. There's a lot of competition in this space. So she was very stressed out. Whenever we met with her, she had no email list, but she did have 23,000 followers. At that time, she had been building her brand on Instagram for 5 months at that point. But she was overwhelmed. She was just putting content to put it out there. There was no intention behind what she was delivering, but people were attracted because she had the voice and she had the charisma to show up and be herself, which is a struggle in itself. Now, it can be easy to get stuck going through the motions whenever you're putting content out there, because it's scary. It is scary. You have to be authentic. It's hard to show up on camera, but at the same time, you have a business that you need to fuel. You have a business that you need to generate leads for, and you have a bigger goal that you're working towards. But sometimes it's impossible to come up with big ideas when you're stressing out about these small tasks. And that's why it's better and more beneficial and more efficient to have guidance in whatever your goals are, whether it's for your business, whether it's for your fitness goals, whether it's for your diet goals. You will reach your goals faster whenever you have somebody to help lead you and take that way. And so let me show you guys what exactly we did for her, a step-by-step breakdown. First of all, we stopped going through the motions. We sat down and we had about 3-4 intentional calls to list out all of the fears and all of the desires that our ideal audience had and really understand what her story was. So what you need to understand is that before people buy into you, tell them what they want to know. Tell them what the earning potential is. Tell them what your lifestyle is like, and tell them the timeline of that. Earning potential. For real estate investors, that's going to be, let's say you're looking to attract lenders for your next deal. Now, what you're going to want to do there is you're going to want to talk a little bit about the returns. You're going to want to talk a little bit about the education, but you don't want to give you don't want to give everything to them all at once, because that can be very, very overwhelming for an audience. Next thing you need to do is show their dream lifestyle. If you're somebody who's able to have the time freedom or you're working towards it, you're on that journey, share your journey as you're going through it, because people are going to relate to you. People are attracted to the journey that you're going with because it's kind of like watching a reality TV show. You want to see what happens at the end. And then we have the timeline. What is their goal and what is the timeline on how you can help them get there? If you're going to give them a 5 to 7% return, how soon are you going to be able to give that to them? That's what you're going to want to communicate before they buy into you as a person, not exactly your product. Remember, people work with people that they know, they like, and that they trust. So after that they buy into you, tell them what they need to know. And this is going to be on the back end. Strategies, to-dos, tactics. This is whenever you get them into the back of your funnel, which we'll focus on a little bit later on this call. But what content is focused on is getting people to buy into you. And basically it's like networking, but online. You're able to reach millions of people and shake their hand and get them to build a relationship or a point of contact with you. That way they feel more comfortable going with that next step. See, having millions of followers is great. Shaking hands, going all of these network events is great. But the most important part is engaging with these people. And that is a huge part of where people fall short on content. So part of the strategy that we also implemented, once we really understood what the goals and like how her lifestyle was and how her story was, it was about really figuring out how can we engage with our content or with our audience in a way that feels personable, because you can really lose touch with that. And so what's worked across many, many accounts is you want to comment and engage with other people's posts in your industry and maybe with your hobbies and your interests as well. So with this person in particular, she's based out of Hawaii. She enjoys spearfishing out of all things, and she is very, very, very passionate about real estate investing. And so what we did with her is we created a list of inspirational accounts of people she wanted to be like. Brandon Turner, Investor Girl Brit. Those are a few examples of people who've built their brand very big, and they have the ideal audience that she has as well, especially Brandon Turner, because he is based out of Hawaii itself. And so we would comment on those posts every single day. We would spend 30 minutes commenting on different real estate investors' posts and people in Hawaii's posts, maybe some local businesses, and just engage, leave a meaningful comment. And you cannot underestimate that. If you can spend 30 minutes per day engaging with other people's content who are in your niche, you are going to, that's basically a hack on how to get followers and how to reach your ideal audience. Do not underestimate that part. That would be the biggest part of her growth that's really taken her to the next level. And the biggest part we did was niche down aggressively. And especially if you're just starting out, or if you're at a point where you're looking to level up your business, maybe quit your 9 to 5, or really just reach that big number goal. Maybe that number is $1 million. You're trying to reach $1 million for your business. You need to niche down. Most businesses think that they should target everybody, that way they can have more customers, but it's definitely not the case. You are just starting out. It's better to, you have a few bullets, as you can see here. You have a few bullets and you want to make sure that you can aim them very accurately. Got a question here before we move on to this. Is it better engagement to share a comment on their post or share their post with a meaningful comment? So going back to the engaging, you want to comment publicly on their post, on the post itself. That way everybody else can see that. And the goal there is to leave such a meaningful comment that you get pinned to the top. And let's say they have hundreds of comments, but you're pinned to the top. You're going to be the first one that everybody sees. Another great hack to apply there is to reply to other people's posts. That way, reply to other people's comments and start that conversation. That way you can maybe, you could cause a little controversy, share your opinion, maybe, just be very real and honest in regards to that. That way more people will engage and you can start that conversation a bit deeper. Now, going back to niching down, what you'll see as a huge trend right now is duality. You have moms who are realtors, you have businessmen who are, to our dads, real funny enough, right? Dads who like love to take care and spend time with their kids. A great example of somebody who does that is Sam Faster Freedom. He is a real estate investor, and he did a whole series on basically playing with his daughter's dolls and teaching her real estate investing, basically to a 5-year-old. And that was basically what got him over 50,000 followers overnight as well. So coming down into your story, and figuring out what your niche is going to be. If you're Hispanic, if you are a person of color, if you're someone with a very unique background, write down your story and listen or take an idea of what you would tell someone at a networking event that would make you stand out and make a connection with them. And maybe it's a connection that you can't make with everything else. That's going to be your superpower right there. Duality. You're a real estate investor who blank. You're a commercial real estate investor who does this, who is also a chiropractor, right? So that's a perfect example. We have Michael here. We've been on a few calls before, and he is a chiropractor himself. And a great idea for him is there's a lot of people who are chiropractors who just aren't familiar with the commercial real estate industry, which is what Michael is in right now. And so what he would do, and what we created a plan with, is he would start following other chiropractic accounts. Everybody's seen it. People who pop the bags, have all of these different collaborations with other chiropractors, and he would start educating them on how to create financial freedom for their business. And now, not only that, is that elevating the individual community of chiropractors, but it's also elevating his brand because he's willing and he's very confident and excited to educate these people and help everybody come up together. Okay, does that make a little bit more sense? Is that a good example? Let me know if that helps you guys. If you are somebody who, let's say, is Hispanic from a rough background, right? That is your superpower. You do not want to hide that at all. You want to communicate that to the public. Share your story. Share, what made you learn these lessons that you now apply to business. If you are somebody who made a cross country move from New York all the way to Texas, and you came here by yourself, talk about that story, talk about why you did that, and talk about how those lessons are helping you in business right now. Maybe it's individuality, maybe it's, focusing on yourself and focusing on these goals and focusing on fitness, and that's helping you drive your mission as a real estate investor by helping other people do XYZ. Duality, duality, duality. That's going to be the PowerPoint for anyone's brand that is on this call right now. And so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that, and we're going to help you understand your story. So you're going to want to create a list of your frustrations, your dreams, your wants, and your fears. If you have your phone out, you can take a screenshot of this and scan the QR code, or you can scan it right now. But this is an Excel sheet where you're going to be able to list all of this out. You want to list all of these because these are going to be the fundamentals of every piece of content that you make. Whenever you're building your brand, a lot 80% of the work is on the front end of understanding these four things for your ideal client. And again, a lot of this is going to be stuff that you've experienced yourself. What are the frustrations of reaching a certain dream, of these wants, of these desires, and what are the fears behind that? One of my clients is someone who's in Airbnb. The frustrations of their ideal client is going to be, they're women with a lack of resources. They're a woman who want this is a perfect example actually. She's a woman who wants to travel the world by herself. She had just gotten done with a breakup, and that's her dream. And so her dream is to have a passive income of $10,000 a month. That way she can live free and happy and do the things that she wants. And so what that client has been doing is she's been documenting her journey moving forward of being that girl. She's targeting girls who are going to travel by themselves to other countries, educating them on that part, but also teaching them how to create passive income to fuel that specific dream. This allows her not to be stuck in a box with her personal brand. This allows her to talk about the things that she's passionate about and that she loves, while also educating people and elevating her community, which allows people to be a more loyal and see her and respect her and have authority because they see themselves in her. They see the same journey that they're walking on and they say, "Hey, that's me. I want to be like her. She's someone I want to be my friend." They shake hands virtually, they're networking, and that number is going to be saved on their phone forever. That's the type of relationship you want to have. So, whenever you're filling out, let's say, the frustrations, the more problems, the better. Focus on the frustrations and the fears, and let's dive a little bit deeper into their emotions, right? Fear of rejection. What does that really mean? What are they being rejected by, and why are they afraid of that? Fear of being, so with the Airbnb example, she teaches people how to cold call landlords in order to pitch essentially a corporate lease. What are their frustrations? Being put down because they're a woman, not understanding how to approach a sales call, getting stuck and drawing a blank, right? You want to list out as many problems as possible. That way you can use those as content. And so a little bit later in the call, we're going to be talking about hooks. And I'll just say right now, it's 80% hook, 20% content. And your hooks are going to come down your frustrations, dreams, wants, and fears. All of this is on the front load. You speak to clients every single day, whether you're a realtor, you're a real estate investor who's raising capital, you understand your clients' fears. And every time you hop off a call, always add to this list. If you can have a list of 50 to 100 frustrations and fears, and then, maybe a few 20 dreams and wants, that's going to be a powerhouse, and you're going to be use that as fuel, as ammo for your content moving forward. I'll make sure to send you guys an email with that QR code. That way you can download it, and I hope that helps. You can always come and DM me or email me, and we can walk through that. Now, after we did that with my client, we focused on the storytelling. She was a civil engineer, and with her story, she was making $70,000 per year as a civil engineer, and she did one flip, one fix and flip that made her $100,000. She made more on that one flip than she did her whole annual salary. That was a pivotal point in her story. And that's what we communicated. And so what we did is, as you can see on these insights, on these analytics, all we said was 3 years ago, I was a civil engineer working a full-time job, and I didn't have the time to spend with my family. And then it transitioned to a different, her happy, and it's saying, now I have the time freedom to do whatever I want. I have $1 million real estate portfolio and XYZ. So simple. And what we did there is we approached the dreams of our ideal client. We said, "Hey, I understand you're working a 9 to 5 right now, and that you don't have time to spend with your family, and that you're frustrated with the position that you're in. But I was just like you, and this is where I'm at now." And the way I did that is I went all in on myself. If you want to learn more how to do that, DM me. And then that's where the sales process starts. You want to be able to get better at telling your story. Your competitors are selling a phone case. You are selling an extension of your personality. Your competitors are selling, a waterproof case. You're selling a stress-free summer on the beach because they don't have to worry about dropping their phone in the water and losing all of their family pictures. That's how deep you want to go on their emotions. That's what's going to give you personality. That's what's going to give you a good story. That's what's going to give you a great brand. Stop being boring. Be vulnerable. Be authentic. Sell through emotions. Talk about everything that you went through and how that has gotten you to a point where you're at and how other people can relate with that story, because you are the solution to their problem. You're the bridge between where they are now and to where they want to be. And it will feel a little weird at first, right? It'll feel a little uncomfortable being that vulnerable, but then you'll see that people who follow you, people you probably never knew, maybe people from high school, people from old jobs that you worked at, they're going to start reaching out because they knew you back then. And now they want to invest in you or with you to be able to be in the position that you're at now. And you may not even be at the position you want to be, but they want to be a part of your journey. So get better at storytelling. If you guys want to DM me the word story right now, I have a whole template on to teach you how to write your story. That way you can just communicate it whenever you want, right? You have the story lined up, you have it all written out. Whenever you're creating content, it's just, okay, I'm just gonna plug and play this. So DM me the word story if you want that template right now. I got you, Tony. That was quick. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about content, about the action items and how you're going to really get started and use everything that we just talked about. Again, if you want the 4 forces diagram, just, let me know. I'll get that over to you guys. I'll add this all. Everybody that's on this call, I'll email everything to you. Now, the bottom line is going to be short form content is the most powerful tool to get organic impressions in 2022. Let's break down what the heck that means. Short form content, this is going to be the reels. This is going to be the TikToks, the 10 to 30 to 60-second videos that are going crazy right now. You can't get away from them. Facebook has them. YouTube has them. TikTok has them. Instagram has them. Pinterest has them. They're literally everywhere and they're not going away anytime soon. And what I want you guys to really understand is that we are on the brink of evolution with search engines. There's this whole thing about SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, which means whenever someone Googles something, you're going to be at that top. You're going to be the first one that pops up, and you want to be the first one that pops up. Now, what a lot of business owners don't understand right now is that TikTok and YouTube and Google are search engine platforms. YouTube and TikTok are based off of short form content now. If someone is going to Google how to invest in commercial real estate, there's going to start being videos that pop up, and you want your face to be the first one that shows up. And that's going to be free marketing for you because you started being consistent today. And a year from now, once it completely takes over, you're going to be the first one that shows up. And so organic impressions means they come naturally. It comes for free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay per click. You don't have to pay for anything. It's literally free. And so what kind of short form content is working the most effectively right now? There are 4 primary winning types. Now, I would definitely take notes. I would take a screenshot of this because these are not going anywhere and you want to apply these as soon as possible. So we have the solo talking head style. We have in real life podcast clips. We have trending audios applied to your niche. And we have 5 to 7 second tweets with trending audios. And don't worry, I have examples. Okay, so the talking head style, these are doing crazy good, but they're not the best ones. I'll tell you which ones is the best one at the end. So this is what a talking head style video looks like. Let's see if it'll play. Okay, as you can see here, it's essentially, you look in the camera, you hit record on your phone, you start with a hook, and you just dive deep into the content. Simple enough, right? This is going to be more for the value-based content that you're going to create. the more education-based, and this is where you're gonna just straight up tell your story, right? 3 years ago, I was a college dropout. I had no money. I was broke. Now I'm making over 5 figures a month. I'm in real estate. I'm connected with some of the top real estate investors in the industry. Boom. That's going to be a talking head style video. Now, in real life podcast, it's exactly what it sounds like. You could be like Jorge here, literally just walking. You have an idea and you just record yourself. That's a podcast, in real life podcast clip example. Let's see if this one will play. Okay, these are glitching, but that's okay. So essentially that's what it is, right? So let's say, I know Carlos here, he did a podcast yesterday with Dominique. Actually, they're both here. And what they would do is they would cut up those clips and they would make sure that they start the video with a hook. If you're building a business and you want to be XYZ, and then he goes into the content. And what you can always do is you can always go back and re-record your hook for these podcast clips. If you didn't have a good hook while you were speaking, that's okay. You can always come in and edit it in. Now, the next one is going to be a trending audio applied to your niche. Let's see if I can undo this. Let me know if y'all can still see this. Okay, okay, so a trending audio is going to be what you see here, right? So this is, again, a trending audio. What you're gonna see at the bottom corner, you're going to see an arrow, just like this one right here. And that's gonna say, hey, this is trending. People are liking this sound. You should use it. These are a little bit goofy. Some of them are lip syncing. Some of them are, doing a little action. Some of them are pointing at the screen. Do whichever one feels more comfortable for you. You don't have to do all of them, but use them because they're just an easy hack. They take 5 minutes to record and it gets you a lot of exposure. So this one's a little blurry, but if you guys can see it, it says 3 years ago, working 60 hours a week, living paycheck to paycheck, being in debt of 100K, right? She's storytelling. Today, making 10K a month passively, creating generational wealth, working on my own time. This video got over, I believe, 70,000 views. Simple video. Again, this probably took her 10 minutes to edit max. And she had over 8,000 likes and over 80 people comment on that. Now we have the 5 to 7 second tweets with trending audio. So you'll notice as you start recognizing trending audio, some of them are just songs, right? It might be a Future song. It might be a Beyonce song. I know Beyonce just came out with a new album, so her songs are really popular. And all you would do is you would create a tweet, post it on Twitter, crop it, and then just post it as a short 5 to 7 second reel with a trending audio, and that'll get you an extra boost. These are doing really freaking good right now. If you're someone who actually prefers to write things down, I would definitely recommend starting tomorrow, write a tweet and post it. And so you'll see she has a here's why. What she did was she created a long caption, and this is intentional. And let me tell you why. The reason she wrote a long caption is because someone's going to tap on that caption and that video is going to replay like 10 times. It's probably going to take someone, let's say 30 seconds to watch that video, and it's to read the caption, 30 seconds to read the caption. It's a 5-second video. It's going to get played, like 6 times. I don't know. I can't math right now, but let's say it gets played like 6 times. That's 6 free views for you. It's going to get more exposure. Instagram is going to understand, okay, people like this content, and they're going to show it to more people. If you go and see some of your favorite accounts, you'll see that their tweet style videos are doing awesome. You'll see that their trending audio videos are doing awesome. And you'll see their talking head style videos are doing awesome. So what are the best? Ranking it from best or most effective to least effective. It depends on what kind of efficiency we're talking about. If we're talking about getting the maximum amount of exposure, trending audios and tweets with the trending audio are going to do the best and get the most views. And it's funny because those are the silliest and they take the shortest amount of time to create. The next ones on the different type of efficiency where you get more high quality leads are going to be the talking head style and the in real life podcast clips. Those are going to be great. They're not going to get the most views, I can guarantee that, but they will get the most engagement. You'll get the more comments. You'll get people to DM you more. People are going to be more incentivized to start a conversation with you. And so you'll be getting higher quality leads in that aspect. Now, I got a question. It was, could it be us giving a hook, but a different podcast clip of someone else? Michael, that is an amazing question. And yes, those are doing amazing right now. And so basically what that is and what you can do there is you can do what's called a remix on Instagram. So you'll have something, you'll have a, let's say you want to do this podcast, you would click these little ... right here and a list will come up and it'll say remix. Now it's going to say, do you want to remix side by side or do you want to remix like have it in the front and you be in the back or vice versa? So I'm sure y'all have seen those side-by-side videos where it's like it's a podcast, like someone's literally just like nodding and pointing at it. That's a remix, right? You could always add your opinion in there as well. But in your case, Michael, what you would do is you would do a remix, but you would put the hook on the front and you would just make sure it's super catchy and then make sure it's like 3 seconds long, very, very short, and then dive deeper into someone else's podcast. That is actually doing ridiculously good as well. So I would suggest for you guys to implement, if you're shy, if you just want to get started as soon as possible, I would implement the trending audios and I would remix other people's videos and just add a hook in the beginning. And those are doing really, really good. Okay, so whenever you're filming content, you have this in mind, right? You have your 4 forces diagram that you did with the frustrations, fears, dreams, and wants. You have your story lined out. All of that is good to go. Now, whenever you're filming in real life podcasts, share more opinions than facts. People don't want to hear facts. Unfortunately, people don't want to hear, quote unquote, the truth. They want to hear the opinions. They want to share their own personal truth. Do not be afraid to share your truth, share your opinion. This is a great way to do that, not only on podcast, but to remix those videos just like we talked about. Click that little ... hit remix, and share your opinion on someone that maybe you disagree with, right? Who's a huge person right now? That guy, Andrew Tate. Remix a video of him, talk about, oh, I don't agree with this, XYZ. Keep it short, keep it simple, share your opinion. You're going on a walk, you're on a podcast, share your controversial opinion. Even if it's not like, far right or far left controversial, maybe it's something super simple. There was a video that went viral recently in regards to Adele, and Adele, I think she like paid off her mortgage, and people were just fighting in the comments about that because they're like, there's the Jay Ramsey people, and then there's like other people who are just like, all debt is bad, good for her, and there's other people who are like, oh, she's so dumb, she shouldn't have paid off her mortgage. That's a great example of sharing your opinion, and that's a different level of controversy. Now, whenever you're creating talking head content where it's just straight on, you're sharing and you're talking, you have a hook, create more problem-aware content than educational content. So this is going to go back to the 4 forces diagram, the frustrations, dreams, wants, and fears, and make them aware of their problem. That's why we did that in the first place, because we wanted to list out as many problems, hundreds of problems. We want to point at them and we want to put salt on their wound. That's what this is all about. We don't want to educate them. We'll do that on the back end because this is all top of the funnel strategy. What does that mean? We're just getting people in. We're just opening the door for them. We're not showing them the room yet. So create more problem-aware content. A good idea for that is we could go back here. I've gone on a walk every day for 350 days, right? And so with hers, that's more problem aware because she dives deeper into what kind of problems that's gonna solve for you, right? She's not gonna say, take a walk for 30 minutes, maybe walk fast, walk slow. She's not gonna say that. She's gonna tell you, This is a problem if you're somebody who wants to lose weight, but you're just getting started, go on a walk, blah, blah, blah. That's what you want to focus on. Refer to your frustrations and your fears list that your ideal audience has, or just share something that you're having problems with. Now, this one's a bit controversial, but you can steal content online legally. And this is going to be the hack for you to not get stuck with creating content. So how do we do that? First of all, obviously, don't copy word for word. That's just, don't do that. Yeah, just don't do that. Number two, don't steal from direct competition. What does that mean? Don't steal from all the other real estate investors or a commercial real estate investor or a fix and flipper. What you want to do is you want to get inspiration from everywhere. So what I always say, a great place to get inspiration is the fitness, the beauty, and the health industry. Why? Because they are always ahead of the curve, and financial services are always at the end. You want to see what they're doing, what kind of hooks they're using, how they're communicating to their audience, the beauty, health, and essentially the consumer good market. And you want to turn that around and apply that to your own market. But you can look at other people in the real estate investor industry to get examples, to get inspiration. You can borrow, quote unquote, from 3+ sources and combine their information. So let's say you're looking at other fix and flippers content and you see 3 people said about the same thing. You're going to take the big idea and you're going to write it into your own words. And you're going to use the framework that they did, because their framework is what worked for them and what's going to work for you. A good example of that is going to be this tweet that we had back here. Most people beat themselves up if they can't finish all their daily tasks. My take, it's not that big of a problem. Here's why. Now, how could we apply that into the real estate investor industry? Most people beat themselves up if they don't get their first get their first property in their first year. My take, it's not that big of a problem. Here's why. Did you see how we take that framework and we applied it to our own industry and to our own problems? We filled in the blank with the frustration or fear that we had listed out, and we went ahead and we just modeled it. So we're making everything easier. We don't have to sit here and think about what we want to post anymore or what we're going to say. We're just filling in the blank. Tweets are an amazing way to do that. Or you can get inspiration from tweets from TikTok, right? So from this one, 3 years ago, what were you doing? 5 years ago, what were you doing? 3 years ago, I dropped out of college. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I had no skills. I just had a dream. Now I'm doing XYZ. Okay? You're going to take the framework of what other people are doing. Do not whatsoever stare at a blank screen. Use inspiration. I've gone on a walk every day for 3,650 days. 3,650 days. Oh my goodness. What have you done for a certain period of time, right? I've gone hiking every day for 50 days. Here's why I did it. This is what problem it solved for me. Again, not educational, problem aware. That's whenever you start getting into that mindset of creating content, you'll start getting inspiration from everything. And so what I want you guys to do today is, you're going to get on Instagram after this probably. Maybe you're going to get on TikTok. Maybe you're going to get on Facebook. You're going to scroll, and then you're going to stop for 5 seconds because something caught your attention. I want you to save that post and start creating a list or like a bookmark of all of the posts that get your attention, and you're going to use that as inspiration, as a framework for the content that you're going to create after you go through the Excel sheet and the 4 forces diagram that we talked about. And that's going to give you a great baseline on what gives you, or what catches your attention, what most likely catches people like you attention. And that way they'll come back to you. So you can steal content online, and I'd highly recommend it. People are doing the hard work for you. Use it. So nothing matters than the first 3 seconds. This is where most people get stuck. Seriously, you're doing a talking head video. Spend 80% of your time creating the hook. 80% of your time creating the hook. I'm not even kidding, right? This is going to be something like 3 reasons why I didn't do this. I don't believe in XYZ. A catchy hook. You're going to create that list of inspiration that you had from other people, and you're going to get inspiration from those hooks. And 20% of the rest of your time is going to be filling in the blank. Stop spending 80% of your time creating the content, setting up your camera, setting up the lights. Spend 80% of your time just writing down what your hook is going to be. Think of it as a headline. A great way to also get inspiration is just by scrolling through YouTube and see what headlines catch your attention and save those into a list. That way you can frame those exact same headlines. It does not matter how good your content is if no one stops to consume it. You need to focus, and again, it might feel a little bit cheesy, but focus on the hook. Focus on grabbing people's attention. The word I'm looking for is clickbait. Focus on the clickbait. It works. It's psychology. Start creating a list of that for your content. Now, what happens after you commit to the next 30, 60, 90 days of creating content and showing up every day for a consistent period of time? These are the kind of results that you're going to get. You're going to have more people be interested to see on the back end what you're doing. You could have over almost 7,000 people tap on your website. And what would that do for your business? If you were able to collect, as you see here, over 800 people's emails. For her, 800 real estate investors. So if we have any commercial real estate investors here, what I would recommend is, attract people who are in a spot, of course, where they most likely have money or in the position where they are already increasing their income threshold, such as Jorge here, where he's reaching a point where he's building his portfolio, and at some point, let's say he's going to transition over to commercial, you'll have his email and he'll be able to go through that journey with you. So you're going to want to niche down and focus on serving people based off of your story, right? And that's how we've grown her account to over 100,000 followers, through intention, through storytelling, through focusing on the hooks, through using trending audios, by having her write tweets. What would you say for a consistent amount of time? So if I were to challenge you guys today, I would challenge you to post every business day, 5 days a week, for the next 30 days and see what it does for your business. Okay, you're gonna post every day, 30 days. You might be asking, how do I get people to submit their email or to, come and take action with me? That's gonna be all in your comments, and most importantly, your stories. Do not underestimate your stories. As you guys can see, I don't post every day. I post for my clients every single day, but I don't do it for my personal account. But the thing is I post on my story very consistently. And why does this work? And why am I still doing business? Why am I still getting clients? Because people see a face. They see a personality. They hear me storytelling. And whenever I do a call to action, such as click the link to, join the webinar or do this or that, I get action because I'm showing up every day and they know I'm a real person. So here's my challenge for you. For the next 30 days, for the next month, post every business day. 1 month, that's about 20 posts per month. You can do that, especially with tying in some trending audios and tweets. Those are super easy to make. And then spend some time creating those talking head videos. But before all of that, we're gonna go back to this QR code and you're gonna scan it and you're going to fill this out. And you're gonna list out all of the frustrations, dreams, and wants of fears through your talking head content, through your trending audio content, through your tweet style content. And what I would do if we were gonna really take action here is I'll write down the exact plan that we do for my client. We do 3 talking head videos a week. We do 4 trending audios, and we do 2 tweets. So we post every single day, and it's a mixture of these. The tweets are usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The trending audios are typically on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the talking heads, we kind of throw them out there. We test it out on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, midweek, because that's when people pay the most attention. Give your algorithm a break on the weekends. I actually would not recommend posting on the weekends because it allows it to reset. You might notice that if you post every day on your story views are going to start going down and down and down. You're going to want it to reset all through the weekend, and then when you post on Monday, people are going to get a notification that says, Joanna posted for the first time in a while. Go check out her story. I'm sure you get notifications like that already. Now other people are going to get notifications as well. So 3 talking head videos, 4 trending audios, 2 tweets. Super simple, plug in the blank after you do this Excel sheet and you fill out with everything. Again, I'll send this to you guys. If you guys do want the storytelling framework, make sure DM me or comment here. That way I can send that over to you. A question I have here is, are there any apps to recommend for editing? Now, if you're just starting out, I would not recommend anything else but Instagram. Keep it simple, be consistent, just show up, record it, and post it. Now for trending audios, what you can do is, let's see, trending audios are very, very simple to make, such as the one we had in this example. You'll see it's 2 clips. She filmed them on her phone, and all she did was upload them, and it was 2 videos clipped together. That's it. Added the words. Those words were directly on Instagram, and she posted it. That one literally took 10 minutes to create. That's it. If you want to get more advanced, the only app I would recommend is CapCut. And what's really great about that is they actually just came out with a laptop version. So you can download it on your phone and you can download it on your computer, and you can edit both ways. So if you're wanting captions like these, where they're big and they're bold and they have different colors, there's stuff that stands out, and there's a picture pop up, and maybe you'll see emojis, I would recommend using CapCut because they have automated captions. You don't have to spend time writing the captions writing your automated captions, what you say. You can literally just turn on the automated captions, highlight the few words that you want to highlight, and go about your day. So you'll see here, let's see, she didn't do it, but a lot of people do with the talking head as well. This is kind of like insider tips, but with the talking head, you upload the video and you'd use a trending audio, maybe a song, and you put it on the volume at like 1 or 2, not at 0, but 1 or 2. And that way you can still get that extra boost of exposure. That really helps as well. The question I have here is, what's the schedule you recommend to record? How should I structure that so it's time efficient and not stressful? That's a great question. I'm going to go back to this one right here. And so what we do for this client is we actually film once a month. That's crazy. We spend about 3 hours filming. Before that, we have all of the hooks listed out. And from there, we just film the rest of the content right there. With her, she is based out of Hawaii, so I've never actually met her in person. But what we do is we have her set up her phone right there. We have the list of hooks, and she just says the hook, and then she goes into the content. So it takes about 2 hours, because we do a lot. We film about 15 to 20 talking head videos. And after that, we're good for the month. That's about 1 a business day. If we run short, that'll move on to the next month. For the trending audios, we do send those to her about once a week, and she just films them. And again, they're super easy to make. It probably takes her about 20 minutes to make those. So if we're putting that all together, 20 minutes plus another 20 minutes, filming about a month's worth, let's say it's 20 minutes a week of 5 trending audios. You really don't have to do that. You can do 2 trending audios. That will take you like 10 minutes. That's about 2 hours and 30 minutes per month, or something along 3 hours per month creating content, if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. I know that was a lot of numbers there. What about when is the best time to post and how many posts would you recommend a day? Okay, so the best time to post, the go-to times would be between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Or if you're posting 2 times a day, you want to post at 6 a.m., 6 to 8 a.m., and then you want to post from 2 to 5 p.m. Those are the 2 blocks of times that are most effective. Reason being, the morning, you're going to be posting, let's say, a tweet. I would recommend tweets in the morning. People just see it, they scroll, they like it. They're easy to consume. People are waking up, they're driving, looking at content. Later in the day, people are at lunch, they have their headphones in, they're looking, they're just watching content. Those are going to be better for the talking head, the trending audio style content. So if you're going to be doing 2 posts a day, do a Twitter or a tweet at the early morning of the day and any other of the videos in the evening. Let's see. What software do you recommend to schedule posting? So the great thing about Instagram is you can now schedule your reels. About a month ago, you were not allowed to do that, which is crazy. So whenever you schedule posting, you can use the Facebook Business Manager, or you can use Hootsuite. Those are both really great tools to use. Now with that, the only downside to that is you can't upload trending audios. So it'll only be original audios, which is still effective. If you're posting a talking head video, definitely, or a talking head or a podcast video, schedule them. But with the trending audios, you would trending audios and the tweets, I would definitely recommend just manually posting them. Set a reminder on your phone, have it saved in your drafts. That way you can just go in and just press post. That's going to be the most effective way. Instagram is updating their algorithm and their tools and the app overall on the daily basis. So that's going to be the best way to do that right now. I want to touch back on the schedule that I would recommend for you to record if you were to get started, let's say next week. Jorge, scan this QR code right here. Write down all of those frustration, dreams, wants, and fears. I'll send you over the story template. That way you can start working on that. That way you can get the front load done. This is going to be the hardest part throughout the whole content. Hardest as in time consuming. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to dedicate, let's say 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour per week, bi-weekly, and film talking head content, right? I can also give you guys a list of hooks. I will write that down. I'll send everybody an email of some hooks that you can use. That way it's just fill in the blank. Really, really easy. I'll give you guys a quick look on what that looks like here. That way you can get an idea. Let's see, share screen. Sweet. So you'll see here, I'll send this over to you guys, but we have a list of TikTok and Reel intro hooks that are just they work so well. And you'll see here, red, fill in the blank. We have some tips here. Want to double your desired outcome on XYZ? This is how you do it. Want to double your sales on LinkedIn? This is how you do it. I'll send this over to you guys, everybody that's here on the webinar. That way you can just plug and play based off of your 4 forces diagram, which is this QR code here. And yeah, just implement it, hit the wall, start your talking head videos, start creating a bookmark or a list of trending audios and record those. Super, super simple. Again, some of them are going to be lip syncing. Some of them are just going to be like, banging the wall, pointing fingers. Those are the easiest to film. And if you would like as well, what I would recommend to make your whole life easier is write out your script for your talking head, post it as a tweet, and then just record yourself saying that script. And now you're basically knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone, and that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Of course, you're welcome, Michael. Does anybody have any questions on posting content, getting started, any additional resources you feel like might be beneficial to you? Right now, I have a few people who commented story. I'll be sending you that story framework. I'll be sending you guys, everybody that showed up here, these hooks that you see right here. And I'll also send this 4 forces diagram just in case you didn't have your phone to scan it right now. Otherwise, do we have any more questions here? Any more concerns? Anything you want to knock out? Or we could just do an example. Let me know what would work for you guys. I'm like, who's here right now? Okay, sweet. Questions, anybody? Say yes, say no in the comments. Example, great. What kind of example are you looking for, Carlos? Are you wanting an example of a TikTok hook? Would you like an example of some frustrations, fears, desires, or dreams? What do you recommend for stories? How many times should I be posting and type of content? Okay, I'm gonna get a little big-headed here, but look at my stories, right? So what you wanna do is what I would recommend is post like one picture, you know, I posted one workspace, this is where I work, and then ask people a question. The biggest tip, and write this down, the biggest tip for your stories is the first one you post, use an interactive sticker. Here, I can show you guys what that means actually right here. And if you guys have any more questions, I'm just gonna be sharing this. Zoom. Okay. Can you guys see my screen right now? Comment yes, if you can. Sweet. No, you cannot see my screen. Okay, that's cool. That'll be a quick fix. I want to show you guys exactly how to do this. That way it's very, very actionable. Give me 1 second. So what an interactive sticker is essentially, it's you're gonna ask a question, you're gonna do a poll, you're gonna use a slider. You just want people to engage with your content. That way it shows the algorithm on Instagram in particular that, hey, people wanna see more of this, show this to more people right now. Okay, sweet. Cool, y'all should be able to see my screen now. I'm able to see it here. Okay, so we're gonna go on the story. You're gonna take a picture. Okay, so these are the different types of interactive stickers that you can use for your stories, and that should be on the first story that you post no matter what. Okay, so we have this one right here, right in the middle. This is, you can also change this. So if you want it to be a money bag, you can ask a question, put it in the corner. The trick here is to put it in the corner because it kind of tricks people into tapping it, because that's the usual spot people tap to go on the next screen with. So you can use that, ask a question, make a comment. You have this one here, right? This is a slider. You see it all the time, but a really cool trick here that you can do is you can ask people a question. How's your day? Also the fonts that I would recommend. And the reason I recommend them is because they work on both Android and Apple. There's some fonts that glitch on Android, unfortunately, because Instagram is not optimized for Android. So I'd use the second font right here, or this font, or this one. None of the other fonts. They are very, very glitchy. Okay, so we'll do this one here. And what you can do is say bad, put it at the bottom, good. And now you have a more interactive one. This is very, very interactive, and people are gonna really like to just share their opinion there. So I would recommend that. Another one we have here is a poll. This is one of my favorites. You ask someone a question, maybe do something a little bit controversial, and just put that in there, that yes or no. And you can put up to 4 there. And then we have a quiz. Of course, you'll have seen this. Hi, should I type in things? And you can click the right answer there. That one is also really effective. People love that. And yeah, those are the main ones that I would focus on if I were you guys. So going back to that, summarizing all of that up. First story you post, always put an interactive sticker on there, no matter what. Second thing you post, I would always, every single day, show your face and talk and just share your story of the day in the life. Today I did this. Today I struggled with this. That's a big one. Today I lost a deal, but that's okay. This is what I'm doing to do the next deal. Today I locked this in under contract. This is the plan I have. Don't post the address, of course. Those would be some good examples. And after that, you can post whatever you want. But it's just a matter of showing up. There's no right answer on how many times am I going to be posting. It's about showing up, showing your day in the life, asking for people's opinions. And those are going to be the most important things to have an effective story. Now, let's say that you have something where you're looking to find private lenders, private money for a deal. That way you can use other people's money. Every day, of course, you want to show up and build relationships, have people, incentivize people to DM you and ask you questions, and always ask people their goals. Whenever you are using your stories, the intention is to build relationships. I know, like with Jorge, I think I responded to your story one of these times and we started a conversation. We got a better understanding of like your goals and like my goals and like collaborating. That's a great way to build relationships there. Always focus on building relationships. If somebody responded to a engaged, interacted with a vulnerable post of yours, reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for engaging. Thanks for responding to my story. What do? Start networking. Use your story to understand who's interested in your content and start networking with them. Start that conversation. And that's what's going to get Instagram to know, hey, people are DMing you, they're engaging with your story, and more people want to see content like yours. So it's going to give you that extra boost as well. If you're someone who's a realtor or a mortgage broker, or maybe even a wholesaler looking to attract a certain specific demographic, such as like buyers of that sort, you want to reach out to people because you never know who needs that service or who knows someone who needs that service. So it's all about being top of mind. Again, I'm going to emphasize, take a break on the weekends, don't post, take videos, go hiking, go swim, take videos, but just get off your phone. Give your Instagram a break, let it reset, and come back on Monday and show a recap. Hey, this is what I did this weekend. What did you guys do? Blah, 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 blah. That's the kind of content that works the most effective, that'll get you some warm leads, people who are interested in your content, and that you can start nurturing that way. Also, a good way to think about stories as well is whenever you are putting out consistent content, the first thing people do when they come to your page is they watch your story. If you don't post on your story, you're immediately losing those leads because they don't feel a personal connection to you. So maybe they felt a personal connection to your content, but you need to be consistent on your stories. That way they can connect with you, they can respond to you. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Okay, do we have any more questions here? Do you guys have any questions in regards to the hooks, creating specific content types, anything else about the stories, Instagram itself? Instagram is one of my favorite platforms because people just like to spend money there. People like to build relationships there. If you are on, one second. Okay. If you are somebody who likes Facebook, who likes TikTok, it's all going to be a funnel. Funnel those people eventually over to your Instagram. That way they can see your stories every day. They can respond to you, start building that relationship, start putting a link in your bio with your website, with maybe a Calendly. That way they can schedule a call with you. Start having an action item in there, start pushing people over to your Instagram, start creating content consistently, and you'll start seeing results at least within the next 30 days. You'll start seeing that your Instagram is getting a lot more DMs for sure. Do we have any more questions here? Say yes or no in the chat. What if you have different niches? How do you manage all of those? Jorge, you can like hop off of mute. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so one of the things with like the type of content on Instagram is, I want to personalize my brand. I'm Latino. I'm also LGBT. I'm someone who traveled alone from California to Texas.
Nice.
I'm into house hacking, and I'm all about building partnerships. Like I've done a lot of deals with partners. How do I kind of integrate all of that into my type of content, and or should I be focusing on one over the other? Like, yeah, there's a lot of going on.
No, that's a perfect example. Before I kind of dive deeper into it, put your Instagram in the chat. That way people can follow you as we talk about this. Honestly, you have the perfect recipe to tell your story, right? You'll see on my Instagram, I'm the real estate marketing girl. Now, based on the offer that you want to serve, which it sounds like you want to find more people to partner with on deals. Are these money partners or people who are bringing the deals to you?
So I've got already like deals funneling to me. But like the thing is, like I've got a lot of people who potentially want to partner with me. So it's kind of like
They want to
getting those partners capital, and how to manage those as best as possible.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's a great question. LGBT, Hispanic, moved across the country essentially by yourself and working a 9 to 5, but while you've been doing that, you've built your $1 million real estate portfolio, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Okay, so with this storytelling framework that I'm going to send you after this call, it's going to help you so much with that. What you're going to want to do, one of the first pieces of content that you're going to put out is you want to address all the different points there. And all of that is just different parts of different pieces of content, right? You want to utilize every single points of those to create more and more content, right? Let's say, LGBT, Hispanic, talk about a struggle, right? Label struggle there. What's a struggle that you've had with that, maybe in business or just in life in general?
I mean, as a Latino, I come from a poor background, and a lot of it, was lack of resources early on, and just navigating my way into, building capital and starting to invest. I found it to be inaccessible at first, but then, I had to learn it all and network a lot to make my way out.
Network, deal with any type of discrimination that people had with you. The lack of resources, especially a huge thing. And so what I would do to create content tomorrow is I would literally I would say this, LGBT, or when did you move? A year ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, so I've been in Dallas 3 years now.
Okay, so you can say 3 years ago, I was a lost LGBTQ kid, or gay kid from a small town or whatever town in California. Now this is what I'm doing. Now I've built $1 million real estate portfolio while working a 9 to 5, blah 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 blah. Something as simple as that. Now, what you want to do, it's going to be really easy for you to start labeling that and start creating content across your story, is you're going to want to write all of that down and tie it together and write down your frustrations and your fears throughout your whole journey. Moving across the nation is scary. What pushed you to do that? Write that down. What are the fears you had? What was that driving factor? And then from there, you're going to use that as pieces of content. So for example, with the trending audio that we had in our presentation where she was knocking on it and she was saying 3 years ago I did that, you're going to want to start finding trending audio to start telling your story in that way. You don't always have to say everything at once. You just want to point that one fear or that one frustration you had and then bridge that to that dream or that goal that pushed you to do that, right? You are that bridge for those people, but you just need to point out that you are that, right? I guess if you want to be a little bit vulnerable there here, if you want to, you don't have to, but what was one reason that you moved cross country?
So I knew from the get-go that, if I were to stay back in California, Los Angeles, it's a high cost of living state and city. I knew it would take me a long time to, attain financial freedom, and I had to seek other markets where I can start investing in real estate. I got introduced into house hacking, so I was like, I knew I had to do it
Yeah.
in an easier way. So I mean, just the thought that I can own my time, financial freedom, was enough push for me to move across country.
Did you love California?
Yeah, it's everything I've known and come to live, and leaving family, all the things I enjoyed doing. It was challenging, and there was a lot of mental challenges that came along with that. Even right now, like sometimes feeling lonely or like missing family and stuff like that. But I always look back, like hey, what's the end goal? The end goal is financial freedom. The end goal is potentially buying like a really nice multifamily out in California, Los Angeles, and be able, and when at the point when I can afford it, when I have rental properties that pay for that, and I can live in California. It might take me a few years, but I can attain that goal that is financially responsible, and I can be financially not working to a 9 to 5 and live a good life in California.
100%. So a great piece of content. I would write this down. I would say 3 years ago, I was comfortable. I had everything that I needed, but I knew I wanted more. So I decided to pack up everything and move to Texas with, I don't know if you had money, but a good like catchy headline would be like no money, no place to live, no connections, and I started from scratch. Now I have $1 million real estate portfolio, and I am on the path to retiring my parents or to adding another $1 million to my portfolio or whatever that goal is. Now you say financial freedom, but what I would do whenever you're communicating your story is just really really break that down. What is financial freedom to you? What does it allow you to do? Is it to travel? Is it to retire your mom, buy a house for them? Break all of those goals down, and those are going to be the things that you're going to use to fill in the blank for all of your pieces of content. Now, if you're doing also, whenever you do that, it's going to really help you on podcasts because you're going to be able to communicate your story better now that you understand your own emotions and your own basically emotions behind your story and like the reasons why you did the things that you did. And it'll make you a better storyteller, a better communicator, a better networker, and a better content creator. When you're doing a talking head video, it's going to be all about the catchy headlines. Again, right? 3 years ago, comfortable doing this, living the good life in California, right? Maybe hanging out with rappers and celebrities, but being dramatic here. But then you go over here and went to Texas and surrounded by cowboys. I'm being dramatic, but like that's like you want to make it seem like super, super far apart. That way that journey seems longer and harder, which it was, right? Um, Depending on what your goals are. You want to talk about the vulnerabilities there, right? If you are if your goal is to educate people on, of course, partnering with you on deals, you want to really focus on the people that you've already worked with. Why did they work with you? Why did they decide to partner with you? And then with that, you'll be able to understand what are their frustrations, what are their fears. If you're friends with them, like you've probably had those conversations and you understand their stories, and there was connections that were made there, and those are connections that can be made online as well, right? It's essentially literally just like networking online. The conversations you would have with those people in person or over the phone, you want to have those same conversations with them online, except you're talking to a wider audience. Um, a good way to filter out quote unquote like beginners, people who like have deals or whatever that sort, is you really want to focus on a little bit of the problem aware. What problems do the people who want to lend their money out have, right? They have different problems than people who are wholesaling and looking to just rack up their cash, right? And so you want to list all of those out in that four forces diagram. That way you can communicate your story in a way that aligns or has a parallel problem to like what they have, right? And that's essentially how you filter, quote unquote, filter out the beginners, the people that you don't need to work with, right? Does that help? Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. I'm glad it helped. Anybody else have any questions? Say yes or no in the chat. That way I know. Sweet guys. Well, okay, we're gonna go ahead and hop off. Thank you so much. I hope this helped. This was recorded. I'll have the recording up for about 2 weeks or so. Share it with your friends. Hopefully this was really great for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, don't forget to send me the DM story or text me or whatever that is. And yeah, let's get you guys going. I hope you guys were able to take some action after this call. So have a good one. Have a good night.
Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate your time so much.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for coming and staying along.
My pleasure. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Hey, thank you so much.